Hi there, good morning. You're watching Market Cafe on ET Now. It's me, Snehisha. It's a Monday morning. We wouldn't say it's a bright Monday morning because here in Mumbai, the skies have been grey this morning. But, well, this is a show where we are going to be taking you through everything that happened post-market back home on Friday, as well as all the global action over the course of the week and all the important stories, earnings, everything to know that happened over the course of the weekend. Let's bring you up to speed on that front and take a look at what's been happening globally, and let's take a look at what happened with the US market first. And before we talk about that, let's take a look at what the US futures are up to right now. US stock futures look little changed, and they were a little changed last night as well, as investors are tracking the latest developments on trade, tariffs, and we're of course awaiting the start of the big tech earnings this week. Trade was once again in focus as the White House reiterated its position on tariffs. Now, while you have all the futures that are mildly in the green right now, it's going important to see how Wall Street opens later in the day, because Wall Street is coming off a winning week for the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, both of which continue to record all-time highs. The S&P 500 ended last week higher by about 0.6%, while the Nasdaq climbed 1.5%. The Dow ended the week slightly lower, but well, that's the way the US markets have ended last week, and these moves come on the heels of a solid start to the earnings season. Of the 59 S&P 500 companies that have reported their earnings so far, more than 86% have topped expectations. So far, earnings on Wall Street seem to be very strong. On the economic front, the June reading for leading indicators, which are predictive metrics for the overall market and economy, is scheduled for release this morning, and of course this morning US time. If we take a look at some macros, then US yields have fallen to 4.44% amid strong macro data. The macro also is supportive for the US. Remember, last week we had PPI, WPI, CPI, all of these numbers come out for the US, and they have all done rather in line or better versus estimates. The dollar fell on Friday, still gained for the second consecutive week. So over the course of the week, the dollar saw some strength, but Friday seemed to be slightly weak for the dollar. So that is what the US market has done. But we also have my colleague Kanishka, who's joining us on board this morning to take a look at what the crude markets have done over the course of the weekend. Kanishka, morning. Take it away.
Good morning, Snehi. Well, if you take a look at the crude market, now crude oil futures, they've held largely steady around that $69.5 per barrel mark. As on Friday, mixed US economic news that offset worries that the European Union's latest sanctions against Russia for its war in Ukraine could reduce oil.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.